Guys, friends, adorables. You know, sometimes in our lives happens that you dream about something and then you got it. You are like in a light shock. You don't understand what's going on. You are not in the moment. You are not in the life. Right now it's happening with me because we did it, adorables. We did it. Yes, adorable Susie.
The molecular man! The molecular man!
Molecular, I'm the molecular. Susie, we did it. We're in another country. Adorables. Adorables, we are in another country.
I cannot understand it in my mind.
Yes, I was trying to
Speak.
объяснить. I was trying to explain to adorables that I am in shock. I am not in the moment. I don't understand what's going on right now.
Yep.
Yeah. We have no words how we're thankful for all of you. Our family is so thankful to you. It's I don't know how I need to say it because it's a tons, millions of thanks. Because when we was reading your comments for last week, for last 2 weeks, what we saw that in each comment you sell us blessings, prayers, blessings, and I know that some people they don't believe in this, but I believe. I believe in blessings, I believe in prayers, and I feel it. I feel something in the air, in the space. I feel the protection. And I think it is because of your blessings and prayers. Someone in this universe protects us because of your blessings and prayers. I am so appreciate. Thank you, adorables. Thank you so much. I want to be honest with you. It's not because of we. We are usual, simple people. We are nothing in this universe. That we are right now, it is because of you. Thank you very much.
Hi. But I think you cannot say where are you? Where are we? Yes.
Adorable. So we didn't want to make a surprise from it, but we want. We are going to make a little game, a little play with you. I'm not going to tell you where we are right now. I think it will be funny if you will trying to get answer by yourself where we are. I'm going to show you this view from this balcony, and there are some tips and prompts for you. And you can put your answers under our video in comment section. Look the view from the balcony.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on, as always. And starting off there with our friend Dan and his family. They got out of Russia. I find it rather amazing, but yet he thinks it is miraculous, and it might well be. Hello, everybody. I'm going to hop over here to the chat for just a second. The Shishkos family, indeed. Patricia, Oomph, Chodine's, Feisty Mama, Robert Escobar, Sassy Pants, BTM Sparky, Hot Mess Summer, Taurus, Jungle Jane, Sissy, thank you for everything you do, Sissy. Cunning Stunt, hello. Max Smith, hello. Miss Free to Be Me. Well, thank you, Summer. Max Smith. Yeah, go watch the rest of that if you so desire, and I recommend you do. I'm kind of amazed. Hi, Katrina. Hi, here listening. Riddle me this. Howdy. I hope I haven't missed anybody. Mama Red, hello. Smoke Wagon. I don't think I've missed anybody. I hope not. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for clicking on. If you want to see how a grown-ass woman, strong, independent grown-ass woman handles problems, I highly recommend you subscribe to Summer Dickerson's channel. It's called Hot Mess Summer. And you watch the last live she has done, which was just earlier this evening. I highly recommend it. Okay? With that being said, let's see what's going on around mainstream media. I got a segment I want to get to tonight, What If? And I got some stuff we need to go through real quick. Here's what mainstream media is saying as far as breaking news. Attack on Paul Pelosi becomes a punchline for some Republicans. That's a Washington Post headline. Reuters says Brazil's Bolsonaro does not concede to Lula, but does authorize transition to begin. Supreme Court rules that Lindsey Graham must testify in a Georgia inquiry. That's from the New York Times. CNN, Biden uses Florida's, quote, extreme MAGA Republicans, end quote, as foils for his closing midterm pitch. And The Guardian says an American woman who led an Islamic State battalion in Syria has been sentenced to 20 years in prison. Israelis Benjamin Netanyahu holds a slight edge in election exit polls. And that's what mainstream is talking about. As always, what we do, we talk about things that mainstream's not necessarily talking about. Thank you, Summer. Prayers for you. Summer's got court in the morning. I'm having a medical procedure tomorrow morning. So yeah, prayers and positive vibes are always appreciated. Let's see, where was I at? Here we go. Okay, Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and the Twitter staff have been told to work 84-hour weeks, and managers have left the office over the weekend as they scramble to meet Elon Musk's tight deadlines, reports say. As always, just giving you something to think about. Would you be doing that? Would you be doing 84 hours a day just to please Elon Musk? I guess the salaries, and that's the thing, if it's salaried, you're doing 84 hours and getting paid for less than 40. Just saying. We talked about our friends from Russia, and here's what Russian media is saying. Some of the people that have been watching the show for a long time, this is one of their favorite segments when we find out what Russian media is saying, and this is this is rather troubling. I'll turn her up in case you speak Russian.
Есть и гордость, есть и счастье победы, есть личностный рост определенный, есть изменение личности в сторону большего осознания себя, частью своей страны, частью своей рода, частью каких-то ценностей.
I'm going to start this over because I should have given just a little bit of context. This woman, again, those that have watched the show, we've shown her a lot of times. She's a popular talking head in Russia, and what she's basically doing, she can't be drafted because she's a woman and because she's beloved in the media. But what she's telling people is how great it would be to die for Russia.
Наряду с трагедиями, с болью, с понятными всеми вещами, у нее есть и гордость, есть и счастье победы, есть личностный рост определенный, есть изменение личности в сторону большего осознания себя, частью своей страны, частью своей рода, частью каких-то ценностей, каких-то идеалов. Что есть у этого вот всего трэша, ультралиберального этого фашизма, я не...
And, that might be something that
Probably the
whoa, hold on there. You're not supposed to even be up here. There we go. That might be something for, if Just Here is still here, that might be something for, that might be a topic that you might want to talk about on your channel. Veterans channel, for veterans, by veterans, about veterans. And that lady just kind of really glorified what war does to people, and something that needs to be explored more, in my opinion. We've got okay, let's go to the Twitter. Let's go to the Twitter scroll real quick and run through the news, because we got we got U.S. Veterans Chat. Some channels to subscribe to. If you are a veteran, subscribe to U.S. Veterans Chat. If you are a strong independent female, or you appreciate discussions led by strong independent females, subscribe to Summer Dickerson, Hot Mess Summer, Sparky Madness, and Pluck the Patriarchy. And all of them are either have just got to 1,000 or are really close. So help them get to where their channels can be monetized. Not that, I mean, it's, well, never mind. Hi, YouTube. Thank you for always watching all of my shows. And we're not going to do anything tonight that's going to be disruptive in any way, shape, or form. So no need to take anything down or restrict anything. But thank you very much for watching. And I hope all of you that get monetized have good fortune with it. Okay, here we go down the bookmarks. In one of the wildest, most unhinged rants of the Lindell saga, he claims that he has people and cameras inside watching polling places in every county, and that he has cyber guys, end quote, who are able to look inside voting machines in real time and see if Democrats are flipping votes. Okay, I'm not going to play the whole thing. You can find it, Ron Filipovsky, on Twitter, and if you want to listen to it. But this is basically what the guy says. Now, he's basically confessing that he is messing with federal elections. He's basically outing himself. You know, I've got people that are gonna that can look inside voting machines. Now, if they can look inside voting machines to see what Democrats are doing, they're going to be doing something other than just looking inside. All right? And any judge is going to tell this guy the same thing. But this guy's getting desperate. And he's probably depending on Trump for some money that is never going to be there. do any of you have any knowledge of any rich person that doesn't mind telling you how rich they are? Except for Donald Trump. He won't show his tax returns because he doesn't have any money. Everything is tied up in debt or in something else. And he has very little actual, I say he doesn't have any money. I don't have any money. He's got money, but not like he wants everybody to believe. And it's just another con, in my humble opinion. All right. Back to the news. North Korea fired 3 missiles. This was 3 hours ago. North Korea fired 3 missiles towards South Korea, one of which fell into waters just 35 miles east of one of their beach getaways on the South China Sea. So, as always, we have to report that this guy in North Korea is our most dangerous concern outside of our concern with differences with each other that we should be talking down instead of escalating, in my humble opinion. Newsweek says Marjorie Taylor Greene blames Democrats for Paul Pelosi attack. She said that if immigration policy had been stricter, David DePape, who is from Canada, would not have been allowed into the country. And again, elections are coming up a week from today. You need to check. Chances are it's too late to get registered if you're not already registered. This, in my opinion, again, is one of, if not the most critical midterm elections we've ever had. And I'll explain that in just a couple of minutes. Supreme Court rules Lindsey Graham must testify before Fulton County Grand Jury on overturning Georgia's 2020 election results. Graham had sought to halt the testimony pending SCOTUS review. So a little more info on one of the mainstream media headlines. I'll tell you, this is how I do this. Every once in a while, there'll be a repeat story from the mainstream media, or we will go more in depth. I go through and I grab the stories I want to use for the Twitter scroll, and I put them in my bookmarks. And I do that before I see what the breaking news is, and every once in a while we overlap. So there was a gunman on the rooftop in New Jersey. 2 police officers were shot, one in the neck, one in the leg, and the shooter had barricaded themselves in an apartment. The officers were trying to serve a warrant, and that's all I've got on that. This was released 9 hours ago today on the officially the 3rd day now of wait a minute. Okay, yeah, all right. It was 1 of 3. I'm sorry, breaking on the 3rd day, and I got myself all confused. I'm like, wait a minute, what? It's not the 3rd day. It's officially the 2nd day. Anyway, this was 1 of 3 pictures. I'm just using this one, and this did not happen. It is just the picture that was used in this breaking headline, which came out 9 hours ago. That 425 nuclear shelters are urgently being prepared, and that was from the regional administration in Kyiv. So, again, people are taking it more and more seriously the farther it goes along, and it's not something we are going to dwell on in this episode anyway, but it is something that we need to be reminded of. You know, we talk about preparing, and you need to prepare. And I've got a whole set of shows on that. It takes about an hour to watch all 4 episodes or 5 episodes. Anyway, on to 2020 midterm. Vote Facts is the name of the site. USA Facts. And with all of the advertisements, with all of the claims, with all of the known BS on social media, it is important to know facts before you vote. And again, we're coming up a week from today. So yeah, I'm going to be talking a lot about the election because, again, I think it's one of, if not the most important midterm election we've ever had. I'll tell you why coming up. The prosecution's first witness in the Trump organization's criminal trial spent Monday coughing on the stand. On Tuesday, he tested positive for COVID. So it has been thrown into disarray. Criminal charges against the Trump organization being brought. Just one of the legal predicaments that the former president finds himself in. Every 5th mobilized of those whose death has become publicly known died before being sent to the front. This is in Russia. So all of the people that they are drafting, every 5th one that has been killed, it's either because of death with fights, alcohol, drugs, suicide, or accidents. In some cases, they'd only been in the Army 9 to 10 days. So the reason for the nuclear shelters is because it's becoming clearer and more clear to everyone that Russia's strength is only in its weapons of major destruction capabilities. Again, we had this in the headlines from mainstream media. The current president refuses to concede the election, but has allowed the transition of power to begin, and says, I believe the last thing I saw was that he said he was going to stand by the Constitution. North Korea, twice in the scroll. North Korea says U.S. South Korean drills can no longer be tolerated. And, we're not going to let him dictate that to us. Exit polls predict win for Netanyahu. That would mean Israel would be a much more right-wing country with Netanyahu as the prime minister. And as to what that means globally, we'll save that for an upcoming segment. Again, 2 officers shot in Newark by a shooter on top of a roof. The gunman was still at large at the time, but as I said, the last I heard, he was still barricaded in an apartment. Russian troops install military equipment on the Zaporizhzhia power plant's rooftop. The Zaporizhzhia power plant is the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhzhia. Almost as if they know there's going to be a nuclear problem there, and they want to blame it on Ukrainians attacking their anti-aircraft on the roofs of the building, and blame it on the Ukrainians. It's the false flag, dirty bomb that has been talked about. Catholic officials, a Catholic official has criticized Pope Francis And the same Catholic official is calling for clergy to be allowed to watch porn. The Pope's response to the devil comes from there. And found that rather interesting and something to think about. Sadly, Takeoff, a rapper in Migos, he was shot at about 2:30 this morning at a private party in Houston and was killed. Democrat Richard Ringer, running for a state house seat, says he was attacked, knocked unconscious at his home early Monday morning. Says he believes he was targeted with election-related harassment. And again, that comes out of Pennsylvania. The ouster of the Pakistani popular Prime Minister, Imran Khan, has sparked unprecedented public criticism of the military establishment that has dominated the country for decades. So, Pakistan is a nuclear country, and we've got Pakistan and India that have never liked each other. Both of them are nuclear countries. Both of them are having turmoil within their borders. We've got Iran, which we've talked about in the past few episodes. Their youth began an uprising that progressive thinkers are now, no matter the age, supporting. And we're going to go to the map here in just a second, real quick, just to kind of get a look at where the trouble is at and how vast the trouble is. Chief, I mentioned this earlier about the tax returns. Supreme Court temporarily blocks House Dems from obtaining Trump's tax returns. Every other president in history has willingly displayed their tax returns, including our current president. For some reason, he's hiding. And Chief Justice John Roberts temporarily blocked a House committee from obtaining said tax returns. This is one we're going to pause on for just a second here. Bannon says that Representatives Comer and Jordan will hold a press conference on November 14th, on the first day back after election, and will announce the results of their investigation into Hunter's laptop, and will then proceed towards impeachment of Biden if ours take the majority, period. Okay. Let me explain something real quick here that I've talked about before, and then we'll get to the map. Why does that matter? Why does it matter that Republicans control the House? The Speaker of the House, as I mentioned when Speaker Pelosi's husband was attacked, the Speaker of the House is third in line as far as succession to power. So if the president and the vice president are both taken out at the same time, the Speaker of the House automatically becomes president. That's in the Constitution. I got a whole episode on the Constitution. Went through the Constitution and the first 10 amendments. We did it under an hour and 45 minutes, including breaks. Anyway, the idea behind them taking control of the House and then saying the first thing we're going to do on November 14th after we have control is begin impeachment of Biden. All right? They don't actually take power or get sworn in until January. But they're going to begin the proceedings even when they're in the minority, knowing they're going to be in the majority by the time the vote's taken. If they do control the House, they will have the votes to name the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House does not have to be a member of the House. There has long been talk amongst the rumblings in Washington in the Trump Republican circles of naming Trump as the Speaker of the House, so he is third in line, impeaching Biden, getting rid of Harris one way or the other, and Trump becomes president. That is, they don't want to wait for the 2024 election, okay? Now, and I'm telling you this because this is a legal thing that could happen by our own Constitution, that if the Republicans control Congress, they are at least discussing, if not putting into play. All right? That's why I say how significant this election is. I'm not telling you who to vote for. That's up to you. That's up to you. I'm telling you the potential consequences of your votes. And if you want something like I'm describing, then you know how to vote. And if you want to make sure that does not happen, you know how to vote. But it is a very, very real and constitutional possibility. And it has been talked about, and the closer we get to it, the more little hints you're going to see from people like Bannon, like already threatening the impeachment. Okay? And some of you'll say, well, the Senate may not have enough votes. They may not. The Senate won't have 60 votes. They may not need 60. They may change the rules and only need 51 and may have 52. These are real things. And if Trump gets back into office, he will never release it. He will never give it up. There will be no more elections. And even after he's gone, someone even worse is going to take his place. Now, this is just my theory. But if you can see any of that happening, you know how to vote. As I said, if you want it to happen, you know how to vote. If it's the last thing in the world you want to see happen, you know how to vote. And I'm going to be talking about voting a lot over the next week. So what's it mean? What's it mean? What's voting mean? Who's right? Who's left? Am I right? Am I left? I put the question to Google. What is right? What is left? What is center? And United States politics, left wing versus right wing. This is from study.com. It gives you the left, it gives you the political parties, it gives you the left, it gives you the right. But what it doesn't give is that most of us, we can't be monolithic and think all of us, but most of us, whether we are on the right or whether we are on the left or whether we have ever sat down and actually asked ourselves, am I on the right? Am I on the left? And this is a good channel to go to if you want to see, am I on the right? Am I on the left? Because we're not, most of us are not all the way on the left on everything or all the way on the right on everything. That's why we're in the middle, because there are some things that we are more conservative on, and there are some things we are a lot more liberal on. But we all have those things. Now, we may not publicly proclaim them, but almost all of us have those things, and it's not totally one way or the other. However, we very seldom see that ever portrayed, because all we're given is the choice of right or left, or don't vote at all. And that's what they really want. They want as few people voting as possible. But that, again, that's a total another episode. But this is called Illustrate to Educate. And it's a relatively short video. And we'll give you an idea, if you don't already know, or if you haven't cared before, as to what you may identify as, or what you may be identified as, because most of us don't want any damn labels at all. Most of us don't want to be identified as anything other than American. That should be good enough. It used to be good enough. It used to be that's all you had to say. Okay, tell me about yourself. I'm an American. That was pretty much gold all around the world at one time. But that's not the way it is anymore. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I forgot. I said I was going to go to the map and show you, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go to the world map and just kind of show where just tonight I've mentioned, hang on, there we go. Just tonight I've mentioned problems in Pakistan, problems in India, problems in Iran. They're all right there together. Right over here, this little place is Israel. We mentioned them. They're going to get a new prime minister. Ukraine, all of this up here, this is all Russia. Massive, massive, massive amount of land. For those of you that have never stopped and looked before, Russia from here all the way over to here, and actually only that far away from Alaska. So when Saturday Night Live did the comedy bit, and Sarah Palin said, "I can see Russia from my house," she just about could. And with a good, strong pair of binoculars, she probably could. So we've also mentioned South Korea, North Korea. China's right down here. This is all Russia, all the way down. Japan. And these are the disputed islands as to between Russia and Japan. All of this, this is Taiwan, this little island right here. And all of these places are potential triggers for a mass conflict, a conflict on a literal global scale, because of the various alliances that countries have, and if those alliances are kept. So that's why we always mention, or we don't always do it, but we spend a lot of time mentioning, we live in perilous times, and do some preparing. Have some water put back. Think about your pets too. Food and water, medication, stuff for your pets, emergency medical supplies, prescriptions. Just have a stockpile of some stuff that'll get you through 30 days. Get you through 30 days, if nothing else. And if the very least, get you through 72 hours. If you don't think that we are in perilous times, it'll get you through 72 hours just in case of a natural disaster. Natural disasters, you're more than likely going to get assistance within 3 days. nuclear confrontations, you're not going to get assistance for a long, long time, if ever again. And we hope that never happens. But if we don't mentally go, what would I do if that did happen? What happens? What am I going to do if one day that television I watch has an emergency alerts message on there and says there are incoming nuclear weapons from North Korea, and this is not a drill. It depends where you're at, what you do, but no matter how much we would mentally prepare for it, if it ever happened, the better prepared you are, the better you're going to be. But everybody's going to panic just a little tiny bit. Okay? So don't be one that gets paranoid and gets consumed. And also don't be one that procrastinates and ends up in panic. Fear not, that's what they want us to do. Yeah. Be not afraid, be prepared. And the more I have found, the more prepared I have become, really the less frantic, I guess I would say, the less frantic I am when something is potentially devastating. And one of these, and probably Thursday night when I come back, I need to talk about the meteor. There's a meteor that has just been discovered that has been in the glare of the sun, and has just been discovered. And if you haven't seen the movie Look Up, I highly recommend you watch the movie Look Up as well. Defender of Ants, quoting Lupe Fiasco, fear is such a weak emotion. That is why I despise it. Yeah, be not afraid. Hello, Ant. Actually, this is great timing. I've got Ancient Aliens. Robert Escobar just asked Ancient Aliens. I got one more thing I want to show you real quick here, and then I'm going to get to the topic, and I'm going to be talking about Defender of Ants, among other things. So I'm glad you're here, dude. Here we go. This is the last thing I want to show you. I'm just going to show you a couple of minutes of it. This is from Future Unity. Again, this is on YouTube.
Are we alone in the universe? This is a question that humans have grappled with for millennia. However, NASA is bringing the search closer, and it's announced an exciting discovery. There are 36 alien civilizations in our Milky Way. However, NASA is warning that this discovery may mean destruction. Why can this discovery cause destruction? What do these alien civilizations look like? Join us as we dive into NASA's recent announcement that there are 36 alien civilizations in our very own Milky Way galaxy.
Okay. It's titled, quote, "They are coming," end quote. NASA chief finally breaks silence on aliens. And as always, we just give you something to think about, not telling you what to think or how to think. But I will say that I have not heard that NASA has said there are 36 alien civilizations in our Milky Way. If that is true, that's something we should probably be aware of and be made aware of, I would think. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, look up, give it a watch, because it gives you a good idea how the government works, and it gives you a good idea how humanity might behave if we ever face something as horrific as a meteor coming out of the sun's glare, and all of a sudden we find out we've got a very limited time until it impacts Earth. I married an alien. Definitely agree on aliens. Space Force. I like that theory that the aliens created humans by breeding pigs with monkeys. Max Flower. They got alien on our aliens. They got a lien on our aliens. They say that pensions are disappearing and management and stockholders are getting more and more. The company I work for is like that. It would be kind of dumb to think it's just us. When I was a freshman or sophomore? I was a freshman or sophomore in college, and I took an astronomy class, and the college I went to had an observatory, and they also had one of those sky shows. And if you've ever been to one of those and you see the amount of stars that you don't really get to see the sky, the number of stars which represent other solar systems like ours. We don't get to see it because of light, because of street lights, because of your neighbor's security light, because of the lights in a big city, whatever it may be. But if you ever get to a point where you have the time and the desire, find a very dark piece of land near where you are and just spend a couple hours one night looking up. You'll be amazed at the stuff that's moving around. You'll be amazed at the stuff you see that you haven't seen before. And you may even end up buying a telescope or two. But yeah, it'd be kind of nuts to think we're the only ones. Defender of Ants is going to be getting back on the road. Cool. That's all. That is cool. I didn't know he was. I mean, I knew he wasn't actively actively on the road. It's cool because an artist made it for a famous author. So happy to be working on it. Felt great driving it to town after digging it out of the dirt months ago. You're getting a new vehicle, or you're putting a vehicle back into use. I think that's freaking awesome. Good for you, Defender. Are you Ants? Are you like videoing the progress? Are you making videos as to how it's from start to finish of what you had and what it has become? Planetarium. Thank you, Jeff Reynolds. That's what I was trying to think of. Definitely an upgrade from that van. All right. Here's tonight's segment. The last segment from I guess it was Sunday night show. First of all, our Halloween show on Saturday night got taken down. And then our Halloween show on Sunday night got age restricted because of complaints. So we're trying real hard tonight. I'm trying, even though I've talked about some conflicts and stuff, trying real hard tonight to keep the video up so that people will be able to see it other than those watching live. And it may be a situation where those of you watching live are the only ones that see this. I'm going to be disappointed if we can't get it going and back to Chicago. Okay. This is the second What If episode. The first What If episode was, what if there is an uprising of the extreme alt-right? How many people would we be talking about? And I just threw out some random numbers. Tonight is going to be another what if, and this is what if the ties to the pedophiles had not been exposed. What if the ties to the pedophiles had not been exposed? The ties 1776 to the two convicted, known convicted pedophiles in that movement. What if those ties had not been exposed? What would have happened? What would have happened if Defender of Ants, if Lori Arnold, if Anarchy Princess, Telescope, JJ, the Squirrels, Whistle Girl, the one young guy that, they blew his ears out with the horn, never saw him again. What if those people did not show up? What if they did not show up? What if they did not put boots on the ground, so to speak, and they did not show up at the mall? Or what if David Rydell would have listened and had a conversation with them when they first confronted him? How would things have been different if they did not show up to counter what 1776 was doing? What would have happened? We know what happened with them there, with them basically, with the opposition basically on them all the time, with whether it be they're not in the right area, we've got the freedom to be in this area, they can't get, whatever it may be. If that handful of people had not shown up, and the people that back them, okay, and the people that back them, would there be a massive occupation of the mall by patriots happening right now? A week before the election? As intimidation, not as handing out flyers and pamphlets. Would there be a massive patriots occupying the mall if Aunt and Lori and Princess and et al., all the others, if they hadn't have shown up? If so, then, we have greatly underappreciated everything that the people I've named have done. Maybe it wouldn't have happened. Maybe it wouldn't have taken off. But the fact that the pedophile link, the pedophile link was indeed exposed and became incredibly troublesome, as it damn well should. And if that had not happened, and to me, David Rydell's speech where he said, I'm going to live or die on this hill, and I'm going into Washington, D.C. to establish a foothold. To me, those were militaristic terms, and I analyzed I took him for his word, and I always have, and this is not the first time I talked about this on here. But if they would have built a massive occupation, would that change things? I think it would. I think that it would greatly impact, number one, media, because they didn't get They didn't get the media. And they turned away independent media, and without understanding that if independent media gets a good enough story, mainstream media comes and takes it. Okay? Anyway, it's all I'm doing is giving you things to think about. Just things to think about. And I think it was GA from CA. I'd been thinking about this part of it for a long time, and I think it was GA from CA a few weeks back mentioned, hey, what if, have you thought about this? What would have happened had they not been there? What would have happened had David Rydell listened when Lori and Ant and the squirrels all showed up that first time and just wanted to get answers? And if they would have gotten answers and they would have gone away, Anarchy Princess would have still been there. For sure. Absolutely, no doubt. And it's just something to think about. Live streaming. I'm heading over to the comments for a few minutes here. I've already talked for almost an hour. Bandit is hanging out in Squirrel's chat now. Okay. Well, I was talking about the squirrels at that time. That was season 3 squirrels. Okay. I had not officially heard that the squirrels attached themselves back to 1776. I had heard it as a rumble, but I didn't know if it was fact. Thank you kindly, Carl. Yeah, they weren't, Max Flower, and every time they tried to come up with something, this is really about the Constitution, and then they get questioned on the Constitution, and they find out, oh damn, we don't know anything about the Constitution, so this must be about veterans. And the veterans group says, no man, we don't want you, okay, this must be about J6. All I think it was about was establishing a foothold for a much larger presence that they were anticipating, and that might have showed up had it not been for those that actually stood in opposition. And depending on how you look at it, they did a major service for the country, and they may not even be aware of it, and others may not even be aware of it. Or if you look at it as they stopped something that should have happened. Depends which side you're on. But I don't know if anybody else has thought about it or not, but I personally think that was incredibly significant, the opposition running them off of the mall. I think that was beyond massive. And season 8 in Philippines would be great. Squirrels have been on Mags and Laverne's live streams and all up in their chats kissing butt. Okay. Again, I may have a conversation with Vern. Mags has been on here. And I may have a conversation coming up with Vern. We'll let you know about that if that advances. Because I've got some questions. I could push 100 pounds of flint through the slats in the wall in 1 minute. I don't know anything about that. They wanted to take everyone else's freedom while talking about freedom. Yeah. The real patriot movement has nothing to do with these clowns. 1776 and Vern are self-promoting frauds, mags too. Thank you, Paradise Pete. Okay. Taurus 76 Rising. I donated to them to meet y'all. I got one hell of a deal. Man, I saw this thing because yesterday was Halloween. I saw this thing about fentanyl coming in all these multicolored things like candies. They look like candies, and what the... Man, what freedom is a vague and lofty concept with no meaning. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. It's nothing, honey, if it ain't free. They look like Skittles. Yeah, that's what the article said, Mike. J-Met beat all 6 restraining orders. Yes, we announced that night. And I want to get J-Met on here now that that's all over. That's the only thing that was delaying us having her up here to talk. Telegram is a clown too, especially with Brett Boyle. And since Telegram is a mod for Red Squirrel, he's another clown. In season 5, squirrels are a different species. Cunning stunt. I've made so many friends and met wonderful people. Yeah. And again, because Summer has been on here multiple times, and Summer Dickerson's a real one. Because she's been on here multiple times, she had Sparky on, or Sparky had her on, or something, and Summer got caught up in some crossfire of a battle that she has nothing to do with, had nothing to do with, and wants nothing to do with. However, if the person wanted to keep battling, she's more than ready. And again, she's a real one. If I need to apologize to Summer, if I need to apologize to Summer, I certainly will, because she got caught up in it, because she comes on here all the time, and it's because we will continue to talk about domestic violence, abuse, human trafficking, the dangers of all of it, including pedophilia, and we're not going to be silenced by anybody on any of that. And Summer knows that. And there have been people that say, well, when Summer comes on, you guys talk about the same stuff pretty much. Well, if there are 30 people watching and 20 people have heard us talk before, yeah, it might sound similar. But for 10 people that have never heard her story before, or the impact, it's worth it, because we're raising and spreading awareness. So, Summer, I apologize to you if it's necessary, because you got caught up in that because you've been on here so long. But that's going to happen. It's going to happen to all of us here, whether we try to stay in the middle or not. If you're not on a specific side and part of a specific group, if you're not one of them, from their eyes, if you're not with us, you're against us. And eventually it's all going to come to that. But I hope it doesn't. but I fear it will. Drugs cost too much to give out for Halloween. Yeah. Yeah, why would you do that? Why would you, I mean, why? Because I saw that there were kids that people had given them marijuana. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Sometimes a spark can grow into a wildfire. The squad doused the spark. Sorry, Sparky. LOL. Yeah. Quite frankly, Summer Dickerson just handled it like a boss. And as always, love you, darling. And I say darling not in a derogatory or sexual or any it's never mind. Are you saying that in a world where grown-ass adults with jobs cheap out of fun-sized candy for Halloween, there are also drug dealers giving out drugs as free as a treat? No, yeah, I can't understand. Yeah. Totally agree, Taurus. Yeah, I've got some southern roots, Feisty. That's what I was about to say. It's a southern thing. Darling is a southern thing. Yeah, there are a bunch of beautiful women involved, and beautiful on the inside and outside, and strong women too. Chud Billy Hoedown. It's the same fake story that's out every Halloween. Why would drug dealers secretly give away product that could potentially kill their future clients? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me either, and that's the fentanyl thing. I don't know. Give me the drugs now, doofus. Nah, man. Robert, you need to keep working for Medicare insurance for all. It's never going to happen. We're going to lose Medicare. We're going to lose Social Security if the Republicans get in power. And that's not me saying that. That's them saying that. Oh my gosh, Soup Mama and Polish Agnes will be in Branson, and Red is going to be security because they will not be following the law. He will not. Okay. All right. Well. South has its own language. Absolutely. Yep. Bless your little pea-picking heart. Missouri, another state I know I'll never go to. I'm trying to remember the last time I was in Missouri. I think it was on a fishing trip. Oh, so we might have some more IRL. Yes, Feisty Mama. Okay. Gosh, I've already been going for an hour and 12 minutes. I'll tell you what, we'll do this as the 3-minute warning. I'll quit at an hour 15. I'll sign off here at an hour and 15 so you guys can, those of you that are chatting with each other can. Amy C, tell AP hello. I look forward to her popping on here sometime. It cover. It gives me a coverall on my bingo card. She's the only one of the ones I was just talking about a few minutes ago. She's the only one that hasn't been officially on the program. At least pot should be legal. I would not disagree with that. Things, a lot of things happen when people get drunk that wouldn't happen if they just had been smoking. If you smoke too much, you go to sleep. If you drink too much, you get really stupid. Thank you, Feisty Mama. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Cunning. Voted to legalize in my district today. All right, oomph. Yeah, Social Security is broke, but we give billions to other countries. Yeah, it's sad, Max Smith. Thank you all very much. I'll be back here Thursday. I'll be on here Thursday at midnight Eastern, 11 Central. And I'll put a post up tomorrow reminding everybody that I'll be back and that I'm out of surgery and everything's cool. I love y'all. Sincerely mean that. Thank you for clicking on here. Thank you for staying on here. Thank you for spreading the word and getting people here to watch what we do. What we do is different. We cover stuff that other people don't talk about or aren't talking about enough, and then we do pay attention to the chat, and because what matters to you is what we want to talk about, because I'm on here, but it's all about you guys. It's your chat. It's your show. It's just my platform, and I love y'all. Thank you very much for being here. Peace. We'll see you Thursday night at midnight. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, as they sometimes say in the South.